7:02 if you are just joining us, and here's a look at what's making news. Despite a sharp plunge in oil revenue, the Saskatchewan government has delivered another surplus budget. It contains no tax increases, but does include record spending on infrastructure. And the province has found a purpose for all $14 billion plus in revenue. Now, here's a breakdown.
There could soon be a little less hassle traveling to the United States by road, rail, or sea. It appears Canada and the U.S. have reached a deal that will allow customs agents into each other's country so they can screen passengers. Ottawa is set to unveil new benefits to help Canada's injured veterans. Veterans Affairs Minister Erin O'Toole will make the announcement later this morning in Vancouver. CTV News has learned one of the new benefits will help caregivers of severely ill or injured vets. Well, I have two gentlemen, handsome gentlemen, sitting next to me who are probably no strangers to you, but if you live under a rock and don't know who's sitting next to me, Neil Hughes and Dan Clark from the Saskatchewan Roughriders joining me this morning to talk about a very great campaign you are a part of. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what is the campaign we're talking about?
There's a couple. The first one I want to talk about is our Imagine No Bullying tour.
What kind of feedback do you get from these kids? Because, of course, bullying is not an easy thing to go through and deal with, and a lot of these children are afraid to come forward. What kind of feedback do you get?
I think you said it the best. They're afraid at first, but then when they hear our side of the story, they open up. They
2 days out from the release of the provincial budget, and the NDP is already making sure their voice is heard. The three priority areas of the budget that the NDP have identified are education, healthcare, and seniors. 3 British teenagers are facing terror-related charges after trying to enter Syria and allegedly join ISIS. Scotland Yard tracked the 2 17-year-olds and a 19-year-old, all unidentified males, as they traveled from London to Spain.
All this budget talk is making me hungry, so it's only fitting that Giselle Blackmore from Sprout Catering is here this morning making one of my favorites, pesto, but also you will be making one of your new features from your new lunch menu.
Yes, we'll be making the Green Goddess sandwich today. Yay! So we're gonna start off with making some pesto.
Yes, let's do that. And as you're making this, you're gonna tell us what goes into this.
Yes, exactly. So pesto is a super easy condiment to make. And so now our Green Goddess sandwich is an item that we have on our new lunch menu. We have it on our sprouted sourdough. There's lots of pesto, avocado, thinly sliced cucumber, roasted chicken.
I'm actually going to eat this beautiful looking sandwich, but sorry, go ahead. Avocado,
roasted chicken, pickled onions, and Swiss cheese, and of course some sprouts.
And then we would just close that up like that.
Yep,
While I take a bite, if people want more information, Giselle, where can they go?
You can check out our website or follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting our daily features. And we change it every day throughout the week. Every Friday we do gluten-free Fridays, so all our features are gluten-free. And yeah, follow us on Facebook and Instagram for upcoming events.
I'm gonna finish eating this sandwich. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
Breaking news out of Yemen this morning. Medical officials say at least 45 people have been killed and 100 injured in suicide attacks on 2 Yemen mosques. We'll have more details as they become available. And ISIS has claimed responsibility for a terror attack at the National Bardo Museum in Tunisia that killed almost 24 tourists. 2 gunmen opened fire on the museum on Wednesday. They were both shot and killed by security forces at the scene. Someone needs to keep Luke on his toes this morning. We are joined by Luke Mullender. Of course, he is our special guest host this morning. But for now, you're not hosting. We're going to talk with you about life after football. Everyone who hasn't been living under a rock knows that you are a former Saskatchewan Roughrider. Still in Saskatchewan, what are you doing now?
Right now, obviously I do a lot of work in football still, you know, on the analyzation part of the game.
Well, he's the welcoming committee for new Canadians, extending a hand to those arriving in a foreign land where the majority practice a different religion. Munir Huck takes you inside his life in the first person. A follow-up to Tuesday's announcement that a halfway house is moving to Northwest Regina. That plan has now been scrapped. The government was looking at moving the rehabbing offenders to a place known as Dale's House on McIntosh Street. Hi, I've joined a band. Yes, Taylor is to my left, and I have Jillian here, Josue behind me, and of course Brennan on percussion. Now they make up the tourist company. They performed last night at the Artful Dodger, a Vancouver-based band. Can you please just explain the band name? Where did you come up with that?
Well, from a very long list that Brendan, our drummer, made, but we were very.
Well, we've been listening to some of your stuff yesterday, and of course we heard your sound check just now. How would you describe your music to those who have never heard you?
Oh, that's a good question. It's kind of got a little bit of many different things. Elements of folk, but it's growing more into sort of pop rock with a bit of an experimental feel.